I shoot a couple of them, but not this one. He keeps coming back. He's like a fucking cat. Nah.
Yeah, maybe we'll get him tomorrow.
Get him. I mean, see him.
Yeah, see him. Walk up to the table.
This house it's a very nice, quaint little cabin. Let's see if I can actually. Oh, by the way, I forgot to move you around.
Oh, do you actually have?
I actually
something here?
do. So what's gonna happen is this.
I gotta get to bed, guys.
See ya.
All right, man.
Good night.
Take care.
I'll talk to you, what, like maybe tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll probably be on tomorrow.
All right. Later on.
So Fingler,
Later.
do you see?
Oh yes, I
See
it.
this? Imagine this at like night.
Okay.
So yeah, you walk inside. Let me see what I can do, because now that I actually look at this, I have to do something to it. Fuck. Shit. Draw shapes. Black line. Bam now. Yeah, black bam now. It's gonna be super rough.
Fine by me.
Brum, 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 brum. I'm gonna have to redo this later. So let me text tool the shit out of this bitch.
I mean, you could even be more loose with it and just go freehand.
Yeah. Oh shit, nope. Oh, fuck you, stop it.
And with an improv game, I mean, if the images are there for you to put, that's fine. But usually I'll work with images in a prep game.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's an improv game, I'll usually just go narration 99%. And then
Right.
if people need to know their position in terms of like mostly combat, 90%
Right.
of the time.
Gotcha, and you'll super easy hand it. Okay, yeah, I get
Yeah,
you.
just super easy handed.
So
Yeah.
as you step inside this place, have you ever been in kind of do you ever go into any kind of like rural American homes? They have that specific kind of
I
like
spent a weekend with a friend of mine from college. His grandfather had a cabin way in the woods. Basically, this
so you kind of
situation.
you know this kind of
describing.
cabin in the woods feel. How you just kind of step in the air. It has a certain like woody old world
Yes, it was
Just
like a
very
prettier wood cabin
comfort.
in
It's comforting.
rural Pennsylvania. It was really nice. We went fishing, and there was no electricity either. Everything had to be like
And
wood for the fire, and all that good stuff.
So he's got basic internet. Over in the living room off to the right, they got a TV. He's got a nice he's got a nice-ish table. The space to the left of the garage in the main room is a kitchen, a very simple kitchen. The garage also has a workshop. Off to the right in the living room, he's got like his it's a Windows XP box. Even trying to convince him to at least upgrade to 7, but he has his stuff configured just the way he just figured out how to configure it. God damn it!
Yeah.
He's almost pushing 60. He doesn't have time for this fancy shit. But he's got a nice TV. He's got a good cable box. Gets plenty of HD stuff for sports and documentaries. Over in the kitchen, you can kind of see some pots, a pot going, and then you see a big old pan of cornbread. Kind of sitting there in the open air. The chili looks like it's. Hello, what the hell? There's a hidden chamber within the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Oh, what? Is this something
Real
news?
life. Stargate. It's like fucking Stargate, dude. What's up?
Jeez.
But yeah, off to the left, the room with 2 beds. The room in the bottom left. It's a guest room. It's got 2 beds. The little squares of bathroom. It's got a tiny shower. But yeah, it's a very quaint little small cabin. And
Nice.
in the garage, they have a little basement, which is an extended workshop. Which the first time Jack brought you out here and showed you his workshop, you were kind of impressed. It's not quite Doomsday Prepper, but the Marines never really left him. So he's got military hardware down there. He's got cots. He's got, it's basically a little bunker he's made. He's got the ammunition. He's got the rations. He's got the canned water. He's got night vision goggles. Yeah, he's got fun
Hey,
stuff.
so just
That's just
one
what
question.
that's just what he showed you.
Oh, okay. So he's basically okay. I was just gonna make a little comment. By the way, how do you want to? Do you want like 38 Nothing Special to be like AKA Pen and Paper Workshop or AKA Pen and Paper, fooling around? Because if we want to have some workshop elements, I could like maybe give tips and vice versa. You could give me tips when you notice something.
Right.
Or do you think that would break the pace of the
let's
game?
do both, because honestly, I could add people to this.
All right.
Like,
So
Figler,
I
the
was just
problem
gonna
is
say,
I never make anything small, ever. It's a problem.
oh, I'm the same way. I was about to say, like, Saren, maybe not just yet, but like so you asked me about the Numenera campaign. Just really quick, just to get you knowing how it's going. Hippo, I was a little bit surprised at how he's not like full. Darm is going full, like, joking around, but not not in a way that is getting in the way, because he's still playing. What I mean is, like, he'll do his character like his character already is, it's an assassin who murders, and okay, that's like a typical fresh pen and paper player type of thing, and I was like, fine. But then he'll be playing, and it's like he'll call the one NPC character lady a bitch, So I'm like, all right, I get it. Darm's still getting in the hang of it. He's not very experienced, but like Hippo, a little bit. I was surprised because he's been playing RPG from what he says, like, for a long time, but not a little bit more, experienced than Darm, but not too much. But then Saren, I think would be a great addition for especially World of Darkness, because he plays similar to us. Just letting you know, in case you want to keep this as sort of like it'll grow, but in a controlled manner, because it would be nice if we had people that will contribute, in the NWAD fashion, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing that I was going to mention is, generally when I'll narrate, I'll just go off of the senses of the character, right? Of what the character sees.
Oh, you won't
And
break
then
down the
leave
whole
everything else.
building.
Well, yeah, well, I was hesitant to mention this because I wasn't sure, because this is the first session, so there is sometimes a lot of breakdown in the
Yeah.
first session, just to get the background going, like, fleshed out. So it's actually up to you. I don't know what your
Right.
intentions were.
No, I'm just playing around with this, honestly. Like, now that I think about it, that's probably better just to describe in the immediacy.
But this case, it actually makes sense because I do know
You're
this
familiar with
character.
this, yeah.
I have been.
I'm trying to,
before,
yeah, I'm trying to, quote, retroactively remind you of what you already know.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Hey, one sec. Fill up my cup with water.
gotcha.
Cool. Back. Carry on. All right. I'm back.
All right.
Inside his cabin. Very
Inside
quaint.
his cabin, very quaint.
I'm looking at some
very
food
familiar.
on
it's
the
like
table.
being in a grandparent's house. No, the food's still in the kitchen. And he just kind of points to it and says, TV's on over there. We said it was what? The first day was a Thursday. You're here at 8 o'clock in November.
Yes. And it's nippy. Starting to get nippy.
It's cold. It's fucking Colorado, Kevin. It's Colorado
Yeah,
in
probably
November.
would be
It's
freezing.
cold. You're not freezing, but it's cold. You're glad you have your big rugged jacket.
Oh, good.
And he was sitting out on the... Actually... No, he was sitting out on the front porch. He had a big jacket, big thick jeans, but he didn't have shoes on. Jack's got quirks.
So-
Fight me.
I take my bag of snacks, put it down. Hey, Jack, I brought some things here.
Mm.
Uh,
Help yourself
Hey,
to the
I gotta-
cornbread and the chili.
it certainly looks pretty good. And hey, thanks again for calling me up and inviting me. I was getting lost in my head like I usually do.
It's
So
no
this is going to be
problem.
nice.
It's no problem. It's no problem, Gene. I've been in that place before. Don't worry about it.
Alrighty. So, do you want to sit down on the porch and chat, or what were you thinking of doing?
Well, first, how much have you had in the since you started driving from around Mesa?
Yeah, probably shouldn't be drinking and driving, but it wasn't too much. Just a
Right.
beer
Well,
or two.
Did you save some for me? And he looks over at the table. You set the beer down on the table, right?
Yeah, I set it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some stuff for us. The usual.
I got to keep mine going too. And he, out of the 6-pack, he pulls out 2 of the bottles.
Alrighty, looks like I ain't going to sleep just yet. I open a bottle,
No, you're
hand him
not.
another.
He's
Or
he-
can, I mean.
he holds. Are these cans?
I bought like beer cans.
Okay.
Yeah.
He takes
Tall
2.
boys.
He takes 2 of the tall boys before you hand him one. And he just he has 2 of the cans in his hand. He's like, so he starts trying to like hold 2 of the tall boys in one hand and grab the third beer. his big goofy handlebar mustache grin. You made a mistake handing me more beer, Gene. I'm gonna drink all your beer.
That's why I bought it.
Yeah. I've had some of the chili and some of the cornbread. Go ahead and help yourself. And there's like a
Alrighty.
there's a good like there's a good like quarter of the cornbread gone.
I help myself to some of the cornbread food and open a beer. Just sort of wait for Jack's cue, see where he's going.
As you start walking over to the kitchen and getting yourself one of the plates. Actually, no, you'd probably be getting a bowl
Mm-hmm.
and a plate. You kind of hear him making some noise over by the front door. You look over, he's just slipping his feet into some slippers. Grabs his knit cap off of one of the prongs by the door, puts it on his head. He puts one of the beers under his arm to put on his hat with one hand. I'll be out on the front porch when you're ready, when you get your food. And he opens the door and steps out.
Sounds good. Yeah, I shortly after follow him out there and sit down with him.
You step out. As you open the door, kind of making sure to kind of use your butt to open the door to not spill any of your food. He's sitting there in one of the chairs, already drinking from one of the beers. There's a little table in between the chair and your chair's on the other side. You just take a seat, right?
Oh yeah, just take a seat next to him on the porch.
Okay.
He probably has that set up where it's like two chairs on the porch with a little table in the middle, a little
that's exactly what he's got, Fingler.
and a cooler to the side for the beer.
Actually, he just has one of the buckets, similar to the feed bucket, but doesn't have any feed in it. But yeah, it's got some ice in there.
Even better.
It looks half melted, but you know that bucket. That bucket gets fucking frigid. Because he'll just leave it out overnight. He'll leave it out to like the entire day. So the water inside will be freezing goddamn cold. So he just leaves his beers in there.
Cool. So I pop open a can, take a swig, take a bite out of my food, and breathe in that fresh air just once more.
Feeling
And I
better?
commented-
Feeling better already?
Oh, this is everything I needed, buddy. You got the life, everything figured out here, Jack. I'm telling you.
I got enough figured out. You ain't even been here 5 minutes. You already sound better.
Yeah, this is probably just what I needed. I was getting lost in my head again. It's too involved with my work now.
That's still bothering you like it was?
It's all I think about, brother. Day and night.
That's not good for you. You gotta get yourself...
Nearly got myself killed over it a few months ago.
With the Cho guy.
Yeah, old man Tony.
Yeah, fucking Joe, Tony.
I was following a lead. Place not too unlike your house, much closer to. Hold up, what's the name? Grand Junction. Much closer to Grand Junction. But he has a cabin much like this, and I think I got a bit too close, and he popped two off at me, but
He fucking
luckily
shot
didn't
he's,
shot me, buddy. Ever since, and then I pull out my revolver, sort of put it on the table. Ever since, been getting myself ready for something like that with this old thing, even though I've never really shot anything before a year ago.
You told me weird stuff happened. You didn't tell me he fucking shot at you. Did you take any hits?
No hits, but that was one of the best things that ever happened. Wake up call, definitely.
I know the feeling. First time you get shot at, it's always exciting.
I don't know if I'd put it that way, but
Everyone's got their own four-letter word for it. You didn't sleep the night out? Did you didn't sleep that night after?
nope,
Yeah,
not a minute.
I know that.
Yeah, but
Takes another drink.
I don't know.
Takes like a long pull off the beer.
how about yourself? I remember we used to talk about some of these things. Did you ever keep looking into certain stuff, or
There's a lot of what I saw. Like, what do you mean what I saw over in the Gulf?
Well, that too, but also some of the weirder things we used to discuss.
I looked up a lot of that because I had time out here in the woods. Remember, I used to grow up watching them TV shows and reading the books. They used to call me. Man, I tell you, when you got time, and you find things to read when you're sitting there on your ass for 48 hours waiting for your convoy to pick up again. Did I tell you it was
Rough.
Yeah, did I ever tell you that I still have that book that I took over with me to the Gulf?
Oh wow, no. Thought you lost that thing.
No. I lost the Jack London book. I didn't. The Lovecraft book I still got.
Oh. He is a damn good writer.
Damn. Knows how to make things go bump in the night.
Yeah, he's a creepo.
I tell you. And there's two kinds of bump in the nights, my friend. Out here and out here in the woods, you quickly learn to tell which bump in the night you're dealing with.
Yeah, I sort of take another puff out of my cigarette, just squint my eyes a little bit in a thoughtful manner. Just say, yeah, really wish this could just be a hobby for me. You know, most people, they just run away from something like this, but I don't know what it is about me, but I don't know if it's frightened me or not, but yeah, I got to figure it out.
Yeah, most people are smarter than you, and they also die fucking boring deaths in their beds.
Yeah. I guess it is exciting in a way. Take another puff.
I mean, I've always been telling you, your wrists are too weak to be a Marine, but there's got to be something on this earth because you're made of a different metal.
Well, I'm hoping that this old thing, I sort of put my hand on the revolver. I'm hoping that this will compensate for my thin wrists, because it's pretty much all I got, keeping myself alive. Curiosity will be the end of me, Jack, I'm telling you.
Curiosity's the end of all of us, Gene.
Yeah.
He starts taking a drink out of his beer. Did I tell you? I've been hearing there's beeps around the cabin. I've been hearing them off in the woods.
No,
No,
never told me.
Yeah,
Is this recent?
Yeah, like radio beeps.
Radio beeps?
Yeah.
What?
Like every once in a while, some nights I'll leave the CB on. I just pick up shortwave coming over the ham.
Oh, okay. You getting anything back?
No, I mean I talk with some of the folks on the ham all the time, but I mean sometimes I'll leave it on, and every once in a while there'll be like a strange. It's not interference, Gene. I don't know what it is.
It's not.
I've been listening to radios for years, Gene. I don't know what the hell this is. And first thing I have access to Netflix. I can finally watch all these creepy, scary movies, and I still have a lifetime of reading scary books on me. And I'm like, the first thing it is, it's the government. They gotta listen. And he just starts laughing and spitting some of the beer he had in his mouth.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I probably even still have Netflix, but I just never watched the damn thing.
It's a nice bit.
Well, hopefully we can listen in on some of these strange noises. How often does it happen?
Just about every night. Around midnight 30.
I look at my watch.
It is 11.
Well,
Yeah.
got another reason to stay up. Guess I'll just have to manage. And then I yawn, but then I take another swig of the beer. By the way, on off, I'm loving this conversation, dude. Like this.
Yeah, passing on. Like, if you want, I don't really have much else plans. If you want, you and Jack can just shoot the shit for the rest of the time until it's about that time.
Sounds good.
You shave off the rest of the beers. Jack walks inside, gets himself a bit more cornbread and chili, comes out with one of the Snickers bars. Kind of like tucked in the. You like one of you've seen one of the like the denim jackets with the like thick padded insides.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. So he's got it kind of like tucked into that little pocket on his left breast. So y'all sit out there, chat, drink. He thanks you for the Snickers, by the way. Nearest kind of mini mart to him, like a gas station supermarket. Not they're called a specific thing. I don't want to say general store because that's too old fashioned. Service store? Because this is rural Colorado, so I guess we can just call it a service store.
So it's like a little.
It's a gas station. It has a small service area. They do like suspension and oil work, and because of the bumpy fucking roads. But inside the gas station, they got all your gas station stuff. They got basic groceries, like your milk, your eggs, your bread, some meats.
It's like a chandlery.
Did you actually look up what like Colorado has?
I think chandlery is the name for those sort of smaller markets.
What's the word? Chandlery.
Chandler with a Y at the end.
Chandlery.
Warehouse or store of a chandler. What a strange
That's
thing.
wrong. That ain't right. Yeah, regardless.
Little small market.
Yep, teeny market. So, yeah, it's still like a half-hour drive. It's still like a 15 to half-hour drive from his place, so he's just too fucking lazy.
Oh, okay. So he.
Oh no, that's not true. He's not lazy. Whenever he does go in town to get some of his groceries and some of his beer and gas, bullets, he picks up chocolate, but he usually eats it all by the time he makes it back to his house. So yeah, y'all shoot the shit, and he kind of checks his wristwatch. And it's about 11:45. You want to go sit in the radio?
Let's do it.
So he's an old fat man. You get up pretty quickly, but he's kind of old, little fat. So he makes the old people show of getting up out of his chair, sniffs, farts, grabs his beer cans and his plate, and starts walking back inside. By the way, he doesn't have an ashtray per se. He just has like a cup with like a piece of tape with cigarettes written on it. It's your standard coffee cup, but he just duct taped a piece of duct tape with cigarettes written on it on the side. So that's what you've been using. Yeah, y'all step back inside. He leads you into the garage and over on one of the tables. you see, oh yeah, you walk into the garage, you know, lots of wooden shelves, a couple of hanging shelves. The top, like most of the top left to the left side, is just some of his, tools that he uses, his desk, his radio stuff, other miscellaneous survival gear, and a couple of guns on a rack.
Hmm.
Off to the right, in the right side of the garage, is his, actually no, his Jeep's outside. But there's an electric blanket on the floor.
Electric blanket. I sort of look at him. Is it like hooked up?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you got an electric blanket here. What's that for?
Oh, shit. Thanks for reminding me. And he walks over, and starts turning on the radio, spends a little bit, kind of puts his ear up to it, trying to fiddle with it, looking at the frequency, fiddling. Alright, good. One moment, and he steps back inside the house. He leaves the door open, so after a few seconds you hear a small jingling of keys. And he comes back into the garage, walks over to the garage door, opens it, steps outside, and for a few minutes you don't hear anything. Then you hear the Jeep start up. And about a minute and a half later, he pulls the Jeep into the garage, turns it off, closes the garage door behind him, and pops the hood. Thanks for reminding me. And he walks over, plugs in the electric blanket, picks it up, and lays it over the engine, and then closes the hood.
Oh, what's that for?
Jeep's been acting up in the. You know the Jeep's been kind of pissy with me in the cold.
Oh,
It's
okay.
been
It
getting
must
a,
get
it's
really
been
cold.
getting a li- it's pretty good in the cold, but recently it's been getting kind of pissy with me. So I got an electric blanket and I turn it on whenever I'm thinking about doing something. Keeps the engine warm enough and keeps it from freezing.
I'll keep that in mind.
It works about half the time, I'll tell you.
Might have to start doing that with my piece of junk.
Oh shit.
What's going on?
This is me thinking out loud, not my character. Garage space. You're leaving your car out. No, that'll be an excuse to use extended actions. What's up? Okay.
Yeah, I sort of just sit by the radio and start listening in on the sounds.
So he sits down next to you, and y'all just kind of sit there for a bit. He pulls out his flip phone from his pocket, checks the time, and you check your watch. Y'all just kind of sit there and wait for it to come on. You hear some people calling over the ham radio. It's kind of quiet.
Yeah, I just
The
sort of wait
intervals,
till I
yeah.
hear something.
The intervals, like people talk once every minute or two. It's very slow, very quiet. In the midst of one of the breaks, Jack kind of coughs. ham radio's also been slowing down. Usually, towards the end of the week, folks would be getting on and talking a whole bunch, but I don't know, it's been getting slower these past couple of weeks.
Less people talking, people you know.
They're still the same people I know, it's just... I don't know. Quieter.
Huh. So you haven't noticed anything.
It's like it's like you go to a bar you know very well. And there's always your regulars, and your regulars are always there, and then for no reason he just kind of looks back from you towards the radio. It's just a couple of them don't show up one day. And then a couple days go by and another one doesn't show up. It ain't weird, it's just...
And you haven't seen or heard from any of these folk that haven't been talking recently?
Sometimes they'll call, but it's like the landline.
Are you suspicious of anything with this?
No, it's just general weirdness with the radio. And my Jeep radio, it's been acting up too. Like, it's just a little more staticky every day. Like, little bits and pieces. I don't know. There must be some goddamn things that Southwestern Bell's goddamn doing.
Sort of listen closely to the radio. It's just people talking very quietly sometimes.
They'll just mutter. It's perfectly normal conversation every once in a while. You'll just kind of listen to the steady hum of the shortwave.
It's not really changing.
No. Some folks will talk. There'll be some silence.
I just sort of look
how's
over
the
to.
kids doing? You know, hey,
Oh, okay.
You're in the middle of hearing what sounds like some lady and a somewhat sweaty guy kind of talking. And in the middle of one of the lady's sentences, suddenly it just cuts. It's like a hard cut. No one touches anything. It almost sounds like a pop.
Oh, what happened there, Jack? Just stopped out of nowhere.
You look over to Jack.
Yeah.
He doesn't look. He looks a little focused, a little surprised even. Like he's just staring. He's kind of glaring at his radio. Gene, this is the first time it's done that. Usually it just. This is new, Gene.
How so?
Usually it's just a quiet humming. Like it'll
That
sound like
cutoff
that's the cutoff's new. Usually, it'll wait till like it. Usually like the humming will wait until like no one's talking. But it's never like interrupted anybody.
Is it around now where the strange noises show up?
You check your watch and it's 12:01. You look back at the radio and you listen. It's a really weird noise to hear, like a very faint hum come over just radio noise. You almost don't hear it. It almost sounds just like a fluctuation of the noise. This weird fluctuating will happen every couple of minutes. And you
So
notice
is that the
and
part
you notice
that's unusual?
and you notice that no one's talking. You haven't heard any voices since the pop.
Huh. Okay, so I look at Jack and I say, well, I'm gonna guess that this is where the weird shit starts, huh? Because I don't hear nobody talking.
His mouth's
That
kind
humming
of
doesn't sound natural.
yeah, his mouth's just kind of open a little bit, contemplative. He's still glaring at his radio. He kind of looks at you for a second and then looks back at the radio. And he huffs, and he lets out a huff, and kind of you see his big, like horseshoe mustache is kind of like ruffle as he kind of like huffs. I don't know what this is, Gene. And he looks at you. Shit, maybe you did this. And kind of punches you in the side of the arm. You brought your weird, freaky monsters and creepy stuff out here to good old Burns, Colorado, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Yeah, and kind of gets up and kind of walks back inside. A little heavier footed now that he's at he's been keeping his buzz going for the entire evening.
I try to adjust the volume. Does the humming get louder?
We're gonna make some rolls.
By the way, what I want to do too is use my eye for the strange to sort of sense if the sound is from a natural source or maybe it's something supernatural.
Okay, so roll, I guess, what would it be?
Let me just check the book right here.
I think it would be. I'm trying to figure out what this would be.
It would be intelligence plus composure, so it's like a perception.
Is that what you roll?
Storyteller must tell you if the scene has a supernatural cause and provide one piece of found information that confirms the answer. With an exceptional success, she must give you a bit of supernatural folklore that suggests
what page is this on?
This is 44.
Page 44. Thank you.
Eye for the strange.
Eye for the strange. Okay. You have. I'm pretty sure you have two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have 2 resolve, 2 occult.
I mean, you could say in this case, I mean, it's not like an object that I can touch, or it's just a faint sound, so there could be a difficulty.
Okay, so you do have 2 presence, 1 occult. So you do have the 2 resolve.
You're talking about the eye for the strange roll?
Yeah, where's resolve?
Intelligence plus composure.
Oh.
It's usually
I see it.
Perception.
Intelligence plus composure. Okay. Yeah. So roll intelligence plus composure.
Intelligence. I'm gonna try out this dice roller here. Any modifiers, plus or minus? No plus. I didn't mention if I was using anything. So
yeah, you're not using anything, and this is his kind of self-rigged setup, so you wouldn't really have any bonuses since this isn't like your specific as well. Yeah. For the specific thing you're going,
I'm trying to sense if
you'd be probably rolling at a -3.
-3.
Where's the what's it?
So I'm rolling. Let's see.
Wait, it says that you have a wound penalty of 3.
Well, that's just the modifier that because I do the 2 traits and then I roll the dice and then it brings up a modifiers thing.
I think that's accounting for the fact that I think that's accounting for the fact that you didn't technically fill out your health. No, you still have 7 health. The fuck?
Yeah, no, I'm still. Wait a minute. Wound
You're fine.
penalty, and then
Yeah, it's saying you have a you're saying you're rolling with a -6 because of your wounds. So just roll.
here. Tell you what.
Yeah, just
I'm
roll
gonna
this. Just do a simple roll 2d4. Don't use the roller.
Oh, what's the thing again? It's slash, right?
Slash roll xdx.
Right. So it would be a 2d10.
Ooh, damn, good shit.
Damn. 2 successes.
Listening to the humming, you can't quite. It sounds very strange. Like, it doesn't sound like something that's naturally on the radio. And it's also, the circumstances make it so that it's a little odd. You can't tell what it is. You don't even know. You don't know if it's somebody like playing a prank. You don't know what it is. You're not terribly familiar with radio, but it doesn't sit it doesn't sit super well with you. Like, that same kind of itch that you get whenever you like read up on like the strange and the occult and the horrific and the unexplainable. That kind of that itch, you're kind of feeling that kind of needing a little scratch, and you're like, maybe this doesn't sound weird. And it's mostly because you trust Jack. Like, this is new. Like, you and Jack kind of like the occult, and even Jack's like, yeah, this was weird, and then it just got a little weirder for Jack. And
Right.
you both kind of know, it's like, yeah, exact details? No. Is it a prank? You don't know. Does it feel supernatural to you? Or not normal? Yeah. It doesn't.
Okay, so I'm definitely getting the.
Okay, so that's
Sputters
the
going.
that's the check. Would you like to roll a? Oh, fuck my duck. What would it be?
Probably intelligence occult.
Actually, no. This would be rolling to see if you want to try and mess with a few of the knobs on the radio to try and clear the
Oh.
signals a little.
Well, that would be, I think, craft.
That would be. I'm gonna make you roll that as no. That would be. Wait, shit.
Computer, probably.
Oh fuck. But it's kind of an old. It's kind of like a fucky old radio. Like, it's not like super high tech or new. Like, this is like.
Yeah, it could be intelligence computer with like with a penalty
Yeah.
of some kind. All right. Plus, I figured out the proper way to roll for NWAD.
Okay.
All right. So this would be 3, 2, 5 minus what?
Still -3.
Okay, so 2. Okay.
No successes.
So see how I wrote the roll 2d10 greater than 10 with exclamation?
To greater than 8 bang.
Yeah. If it'll be a success, and if it's a 10, it'll re-roll the 10.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you roll 0 successes.
Here, I got it from.
Oh wait,
send
you
you
rolled
this.
you rolled success. You rolled 0 successes, and one of them was a 1.
Doesn't matter. If this was old WAD, it would
Right.
contribute to my failures.
Okay.
So this link that I just sent you it covers all the commands that you can do for WAD and WAD. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I really couldn't figure out the ham. I'm just sort of messing around with it.
Yeah. Kind of.
I sort of get
You
up.
actually almost lose the signal, like the original signal it was on.
As soon as I start to notice that I'm kind of messing it up, I get up and call for Jack. I'm like, "Hey, Jack, you still there?"
Yeah, I'm here. And he kind of like right as you say this, he kind of like steps through the door with like a piece of cornbread in his hand and like half a piece of cornbread in his mouth. He's like, "Rum."
Hey, throw me another beer, why don't you? I think I'm onto something here.
And he kind of steps back inside. So you had a beer in the car. You guys drank 4 beers on the porch, so this is your last beer. You already drank. You drank 1 on the way up. You guys drank 4 on the porch. This is the last one of the 6-pack. So yeah, he brings you back the beer. Kind of like,
I guess the most
yeah,
relevant would be how much we both drank, and I guess I'm almost drunk, tipsy maybe. I'm probably tipsy.
That's part of the reason you. It would have been I think a -2, but yeah, you've been drinking.
Yeah, I'm a little drunk.
Yep. This is great. I love this, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that stuff too. Always take like the sort of external stuff into consideration for roles.
Mm-hmm. So as he kind of steps back through the door, kind of closes it with his elbow. He's holding the tall boy by the top with one hand, pops the top with his finger. He opens a beer can with one hand, and he kind of looks at you with his big dumb grin as he hands it to you, and like he's stuffing the other piece of cornbread in his mouth. You want some more food?
Oh, thanks, Jack. I take the can. No, I'm not hungry right now. But I did notice something very strange with this sound. I tried to figure it out with the ham radio. Maybe you could help, but I wasn't able to figure it out. But the sound itself, you remember how we used to talk about the stuff I went through and the things that I saw?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you remember how I would get sort of these sensations that sort of led me towards seeing the things that I saw, and a lot of the times they were the reliable clues that I needed.
Yeah.
Well,
you called it your
I
itch.
get this. Yeah, I get it now. Again with this sound, I don't know why, but it's giving me the itch, man.
He kind of looks at
Something
you for
not right about
He kind of looks at you for a second, and like his look at you for a second is not that serious, and then it just kind of like his disbelieving smirk kind of melts a little bit. Looks at the radio, looks at you. Smirk fades a little more. Looks at the radio, kind of sits up, looks back at you. Okay, Gene. I don't know if this is you itching for nothing, but I don't think you're lying.
Yeah, I don't think it's the beer. I sort of look at my can of beer and I don't know. Jack, I don't want to bother you with this stuff. You called me up here to relax. And
I called you up here to have a good time. And lucky for both of us, we both like weird shit. Weird shit's happening.
That's the spirit.
Let me see if I can fuck with it a little bit. You said this was cock. I don't have any of his fucking shit rolled. I'm just gonna have him roll the same roll you did.
You would probably know more than me about his own radio.
Actually, that's true. So it would be.
So his base would be higher than mine, but he would probably still get a -3. Or
he'd get a -2 because he's an old former Marine. So
right, yeah,
he knows how to fuck with his liquor. So it'd be roll 2D, 3D, 10, bang 8. And that's a success. No, it's not.
No successes.
He, in kind of his drunk stupor, he manages to kind of misunderstands what you're going for. He thinks that you're saying, whenever you're like mess with the radio.
I sort of look at him and say,
He fixes it. He
can
fixes
you-
it. He fixes it. He doesn't try to isolate the sound of the hum. He thinks you're like, oh hey, I knocked it off of where you had it set, so he sets it back there, and he's like, yeah, there you go, it's fixed.
Huh.
And the hum still kind of.
So I look at him and I say, this hum, this is what you can't identify, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't tell if it's creepy or pretty.
Who would be your closest neighbor that also has a ham radio?
I've asked. Like it's been pretty interesting conversation during the day and down at the bars. We can't figure out who's doing it.
Huh.
We don't think, because we've tried to figure out, like, we've tried to triangulate a little bit. Because one of the old guys was a Signal Corps dude in Vietnam. And he's an old fuck, but he knows his radios. So we've been trying to triangulate where the source comes from. It says there's no source. It just pops in, hums for an hour or two, goes away.
That is odd. And you said your Jeep radio has been acted up.
Mm-hmm. But that acts up like all hours of the day.
You've noticed if it's just your car radio or
It's
anyone else?
everyone else's radio. But Southwestern Bell, AT&T, whatever it is, whoever it is, they've been trying to put up a tower in the area. So maybe that's fucking with something. Can't let a good landline lie, you know.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Is it close by, this tower?
45-minute drive from here. No, that's not true. The AT&T store is 45 minutes from here. It's about a half hour from here.
Huh. Tell you what. Tomorrow we'll have fun out here, do some hunting. But if we could, I'd like to check out that tower.
Sounds good to me.
And then he hiccups. All right, I think I've had enough. Sort of set down the can and start stretching out my back. Jack, well,
He starts slowly creeping up, and you hear him. You just barely hear him mumbling under his breath. City boy.
I sort of stop stretching my back. Say, hey, Jack, did you say something?
I didn't say nothing.
What?
He's got this big dumb handlebar mustache grin.
Could have swore I heard somebody calling out a name. I think it was Seymour. Oh no! By the way, is that what it said? I'm asking Knox now.
Huh?
I'm not sure if I heard. I'm asking the GM.
I called you a city boy.
City boy. Okay, I thought I heard a name Seymour. I'm like,
No.
I literally got chills down my back. I'm like, oh, he didn't say this shit, did he? I'm in the dark. I thought you were trying to be creepy, dude.
No,
Creep me the fuck out,
but that doesn't mean Gene can't be a little creeped.
dude. That's what I'm saying. Like with World of Darkness, if you get this involved with the characters, it's that easy to get the goosebumps going.
Yeah, all you gotta do is
That's
say
the
one
magic.
thing out of place, and folks are like, what was it?
I sort of now realizing what he said. I guess it's time for me to take my city boy ass to bed.
You need your beauty sleep now, don't you?
Oh, touche, Jack, touche. I sort of start walking slowly to the bedroom. My character's really tired, by the way. Not unlike
That's a
myself.
4-hour drive, dude.
Yep.
Like, holy shit. You've been getting weird amounts of... No, G's been getting weird amounts of sleep. And then out of the blue decides to pack up and drive 4 hours. Yeah, you'd
Yeah,
be
I
tired
felt
as
like
fuck. Like after all this, yeah, you'd be rolling. Plus you're drinking. Plus you're nearly drunk. You're this tired. Like
well,
you're this tired, and messing with an unfamiliar radio would have been a -4.
I think it makes sense, but my
Which,
character is
yeah.
probably very used to like these conditions. He's nearly an alcoholic. He's already getting
Oh.
not enough sleep as it is, so it's like he's used to it. But
Actually,
if
yeah, no,
you're,
that's true. I think that I can be a little more generous with your character with sleep deprivation.
he doesn't sleep the full 8
No.
hours like most people, but he probably gets like a good 4 a night. I'm not going to be crazy and say like he sleeps 2 hours a night.
I was about to
4
say,
or
no,
5
4
hours.
hours a night means that you're probably still, like, no, that means that
He's just
you can function off of, you've gotten good at functioning off of 4, but if you do anything more physically demanding
yeah.
than what you're used
That's
to,
the thing. I
your
just
penalties will
hold
stack
myself
up.
up in my studies and
Yeah,
main
you,
reason why.
yeah, you stay in your tiny hole and hermit.
Pretty much.
Okay. So if you want, we can cut it right there for today. Have a little evening
Sounds
left
good.
for all of us.
That was really good. I like that. That was a very neat little interaction between two old buddies.
Mm-hmm. And I recorded part of it.